Hello everybody, it's a live food experience, kicking it East Coast style. Today we have a special treat for you. We're going to do two things, sprout and soak. Soak and sprout. So we got quinoa and buckwheat groats, and we're going to do a little bit of soaking and sprouting action with these two guys here. They're both really easy, but we're going to do quinoa first, and then we'll do the buckwheat. So we'll bring it in tight here because we got to go over to the sink. So sink cam, sink cam, sink cam. All right, there we go. It's best to do this in a jar. You can also transfer your quinoa into a seed milk bag. I'm gonna cover this with filtered water and swirl it around a bit. Alright, so I'm letting this soak in the water a little bit, and you notice you got some guys that float and some guys that don't float. If it floats, it's a witch. If it doesn't, it's not. So I don't really know how that applies here, but whatever floats on the top I skim off, or I just pour off. So this is like an initial rinse, and whatever we lose off the top it's all good. We didn't want it anyway. Now with some nuts and seeds you'll get a decent amount of expansion. The quinoa will not expand too much. I'm going to add a little bit of food grade hydrogen peroxide. This is the strong stuff. It's about 33%. 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. This is to help initiate the sprouting process, and also to kill any bacteria or fungus or anything that's on the stored grains. So quinoa is a ancient food of South and Central America. It's a wonderful source of protein. And now it's on to the buckwheat. Buckwheat. Buckwheat's no fun if it's not properly prepared. It's kind of chalky and mealy and not that tasty. So you gotta do this procedure where you soak it, and the soaking process needs to be a little more involved than what you're doing with what we did over here with the quinoa. I got a chopstick here. I'm gonna go in and kind of make sure I get all the way down to the bottom, get the water in contact with the buckwheat. If you notice, the water all of a sudden starts to get this kind of pink milky color, and it actually will start to thicken and get like gelatinous. You notice, here we go, the old "if it floats it's a witch." The stuff on the top is definitely not no bueno. So that's kind of good for the procedure we're doing here. And by stirring this, if there's any guys at the bottom that are no bueno, they'll float to the top as well. For this, I can just fill and allow this stuff to overflow. They find their way out on their own, so quicken the process by dumping it out. You want to soak and rinse it a few times, optimally until the water is clear. Now the buckwheat will expand dramatically, so it's good to cover it a good bit. Three's a charm, right? Okay, so we're ready to soak. Add a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're back, and I know everybody has a question on their mind, and that's, what's with the haircut? No, actually it's not that. You're all asking, how long do we soak each of these, the quinoa and the buckwheat? Well, the buckwheat you can get away with anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour of soaking. Anything beyond that, you're going to have buckwheat mush. The quinoa, you can soak for at least 2 hours is best. You can go up to 3 hours or so. Soak it and then you drain it. Both of these, it's great to soak and drain. With the quinoa, you could transfer all of this into the bag and suspend the bag. Or what I like to do is just put the seed milk bag over the top, put a rubber band on it, and then you put this in your sink, kind of like that, where you have that's nuts or your seeds piled up. You have a space here for air to circulate in, and then whatever liquid is in there is going to drain out. Dish drying racks are superb for that. I'll check back with you shortly when these guys have been soaked for the proper amount of time. We'll rinse them, and then we'll get the strainer on top, and we'll get them flipped and get them sprouting. Thanks for joining. See you very shortly. Keep it live.